We just did Balram Jayanti and we just did Janmashtami and we just did the more and most auspicious Prabhupada Vyasa Puja. Yeah? So, but there's more coming. What is more? Yeah, very nice. So for us, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Radhashtami is more auspicious. I remember, how many years ago was this? I'm getting rusty, maybe I don't know, 9-10 years ago. At there is Sri Sampradaya. So Ramanujacharya, so one of the main disciples was here. He's like now the holder of the Pita. His name is Chinajiya Swami. South Indians know him very well. Maybe these days North Indians too. So what happened interestingly, he was speaking for a whole... I went there because one of our devotee friends is also used to be in Sri Sampradaya before. So he kind of tagged me along, so I went there. And in the middle of the conversation, he wanted to give some allegories and stories, and he wanted to pick someone in the audience. And he points at me and he picks me up. And he said, "What's your name?" I said, "Radhika Prasad." You know, interestingly, he mentioned my name. Do you remember me? About more than 50 times, but he would never say Radhika Prasad. He just said Mr. Prasad, Mr. Prasad. He would never attempt the name Radhika. You know why? Because in Sri Sampradaya, Lakshmi is Nara with Narayana. For them, like there's so much, Chaitanya Charitamrita, if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita carefully, hopefully you're reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yeah? You have to read it at least 4 times. No pressure. No pressure, okay? So you will see there is a little, when Jagannath Yatra starts, before that there's a little tussle and this between the Sri Sampradayas, Lakshmi Devi's followers coming, practically whipping all the Vaishnavas and then vice versa. So we are Vaishnava, Gaudiya Vaishnava, so Radhika, you know Radhika. I was hoping that I was praying for God. One time he could have said, Mr. Radhika Prasad, but he wouldn't. I didn't take any offense, it was okay, we're all, shall take these things easy. But yeah, Radhashtami is best, yeah? So we have to, with the festival season, we have to make sure we are absorbed in so much, as much as possible. It's not like, everyday business, What do they say, like, usual, right? Business usual, is what they say always? Business usual, right? Business usual, right? No. Yeah? So from Balram Jayanti all the way to Radhashtami, you have to just dip like Ganga. You just dip yourself in Krishna consciousness like Ganga. Yeah? And then that gives you the power for the rest of the year. Yeah? So Kritavan kila karmani saharamena keshava atimartyani bhagavan gudakapatamansha. Before the 10th canto starts, Shukra Maharshi gives an introduction. Kritavan kila karmani saharamena keshava. They did most auspicious activities. Ati martyani bhagavan. Although they were in mortal world, Ati in Sanskrit is like transcendenting above. Gudha kapata manusha. Gudha kapata manusha is faking as if he's a human being. You understand? It's very deep thing to know. It might sound like, okay, what's the big deal? We always hear Janma Karma Chame Divyam, we always hear him, Mudoyam Nabijanati, right? Manusham Tanamashritam. What's the big deal? No. Because even when Krishna came, listen to this carefully, even when Krishna came to this world, and he was apparently in a human form, he was just adopting the sociology at that time. You understand? But that doesn't mean that he was part of that sociology. You got to really get this point. He's just, again, listen to this carefully again. Maya, Kunti again reiterates this. Maya javanikachannam, agnaduksham jamaveyam, na lakshasya mudadrisha. Yes, very good. See, we have to get this point. I don't deserve it. So Natu Natyadara Iva. Natu, what does that mean? You're faking as a human being. You understand? So although he was looking like in the part of Yadu, I was knocking doors sometimes, and this man comes up, and he said, I know, I have all the books. Why? I know, I have so much affinity with Krishna. I said, why? Because we are Yadus. No, it doesn't work like that. He was just Natu Natyadara. Yeah? So we need to get this point very clearly, because otherwise understanding Vishnu Tattva, this three, Tattva, understanding Krishna with the Tattva is very important. Then once you see Krishna like that, then the festival is like beautiful. Because you're swinging in your Atma position, not the bodily position. You understand? Then the dance is like automatic. So this festival season, please take more, please immerse yourself as much as you can, no pressure, right? Okay? As much as you can, where possible, just immerse yourself. Just do it. Just immerse yourself. Someone asked me when I was doing books, I don't know, some of you may know, I do books, I love doing books. Books, reading books, publishing books, editing books. I live and kind of die. I'm retired now, so that's what I do. Someone asked me, people ask me, what is the best, these days, I know in the last 5 years I'm noticing people ask this question, what's the best time to read Gita? You know what I say to them? I said, put a cotton swab or your finger at your nose. Check your breath. Is the breath working? That's a good time for Gita. As long as the breath is working, you read Gita, you read Bhagavatam. You read Bhagavatam when you're living, you read Bhagavatam when you're dying, you read Bhagavatam when you wake up in the new body again. Or maybe you'll wake up in Vaikuntha. All glories to your services. You know what I'm saying? But Bhagavatam is an eternal business. Yeah? So immerse yourself completely. I just wanted to, you already know all these things, but sometimes, reiterating is very important. Just do job. Hindi mein kya hai? Do job. Yeah? As much as you can. As much as it permits. No pressure. Yeah? Okay, so what are we doing? 30, chapter 33. Okay, let's do it. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today is September 10th, Sunday 2023. I just say this because these things get recorded. We're doing a third canto, 30th chapter, and verse number 33. So we are coming to the last stages of Kapila Muni. So I said, I might have mentioned to this to you before, when you're reading about the darshan of an incarnation, you are actually getting darshan. It's not like Devahuti getting darshan, what are we here? No, it doesn't work like that. You are getting darshan, because what is darshana? Darshana is a view, is a vision. How much can I see? Not much. Please, okay? How much can I see? Not much. Darshana is a vision from heart. So when you meet reading Kapila Muni, you're actually getting his darshana. Then when you're finishing his chapters, you send him with glory so that he can give you all the Phalakshruti. We need his blessings. We need all the blessings in the world. Yeah? Okay. Kevalena hyadharmena kutumba bharanutsukha yati jivondatam mishnam charamantam sapadam. Kevalena hyadharmena kutumba bharanotsuka yati jivondatamishram charanam tamasapadam. Okay, take it away. kevalena dharmena kutumba bharanotsuka yati jivondatamishram charanam tamasapadam kutumba bharanotsuka yati jivondatamishram charanam tamasapadam. Ladies, kevaleyana dharmena kutumba bharanotsuka yati jivondatamishram charanam tamasapadam. Kevalena yadharmena kutumba bharanotsuka yati jivondatamishram charanam tamasapadam. Okay, kevalena, simply. From dictionary point of view, you might get something different, kevalena meaning, but Prabhupada does what it's called a hybrid translations. It has been proved even in Harvard University that Prabhupada, sometimes people dispute, scholars in the Oxfords, and they dispute that Prabhupada, it's not from, like, kind of, doesn't match with the dictionary. No, it doesn't work like that. Hermeneutics, it's a whole science. Hermeneutics is a whole science. We need to understand an Acharya, when he speaks as an Acharya, when he speaks as a teacher, when he speaks as a friend, when he speaks as a sociologist, when he speaks just from his personal Vyavaharika perspective. And sometimes he's just speaking from just, what do you call that? In Australia? Fair income. General, like social, just community perspective. So there's so many levels an Acharya speaks. It's a whole science, it's called interpretation of science, it's hermeneutics. So some of his meanings may not be found in dictionary, but they call it hybrid translations. And it's completely in line with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who was already a great scholar. So this dispute has been settled. Yeah? So no problem. Did I say Kevalena simply? Kevalena, yeah, I did. He certainly adharmena, by religious activities. Kutumba, family. Bharana, to maintain. Utsuka, eager. Yati, goes. Jiva, a person. Jiva goes to Europe. In Spanish, you might have heard this viva, 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 viva lagom, viva. So jiva goes into Sanskrit viva because ja and ya are interchangeable. Sanskrit is an Indo-European language. So you say Jesus and you say Yesu. Ja and ya are always interchangeable. Vinita, Junita, Hunita. So jiva like this becomes huiva and then becomes viva. So Sanskrit is everywhere. I can go on for hours and hours and hours and hours. Sanskrit is everywhere in English, in Spanish, in Germany. Jiva, a person, Andhatamishra. To Andhatamishra, this is the hell, okay? So this is one of the hells. Charamam, ultimate. Tamasa, of darkness. Padam, region. So Padam goes into English, path, podium, Padam, path, all these languages, pedal, podiatrist, all this goes from Padam. Okay, so you can repeat this, we can do this, maybe call and response, yeah? Therefore a person who is very eager to maintain his family and kinsmen, simply by black methods, certainly goes to the darkest region of hell. which is known as Andhatamishra. Okay. Om Gyantinadasya Nananyanshalakaya Chakshurmitamena Tasmasti Vande Nandavajasrinam Padarinu Vikshnusha Yasam Harikato Gitam Punati Gunatrayam. So, this is very good. Any standard theology, any standard scripture, it has to deal with what's called, first it has to deal with what's called Genesis. So even Genesis comes into English like Janma, Gents, Gentiles, all this. So any scripture has to go through genetics, and then eventually the final will be, they call it apocalypse in the Western theology, or we call it annihilation. You know the three kind of annihilations? Four actually. So it starts from Genesis and it goes to Apocalypse, but in the middle, a scripture has to deal with the movements of the living entity. This is just a general model a theology has to be done. So Kapila Muni is just doing a standard eternal theology. So he's trying to explain the movements of a living entity, just normal. So in the previous verse he was saying, thus by the arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the maintainer of kinsmen is put into a hellish condition to suffer for his sinful activities, like a man who has lost his wealth. So eventually, in the beginning, he had given what's called a scriptural way of living. Yeah? And in the end, he's also showing what are the consequences, because it's important. Like you can't just give do's, you also have to give don'ts. Otherwise never come to wholesome, it's not wholesome. Yeah? So you have do's but you have to give don'ts. So here he's giving us don'ts, which has to go yama and niyama. So Yoga Sutras, simple stuff. So you do have do's and you have don'ts. So in this case he's giving don'ts. Yeah? So the don'ts is that we don't use, black methods is simply saying like conniving, or using method just a little, just, what do they say? Push it under the radar, yeah? Push it under the radar, slipped under the radar, kind of things. So it's very important to give these instructions because sometimes we could get carried away. Sometimes we could get carried away. For example, we always remember these stories, right? When in the 70s, when the Hare Krishna movement was really just blasting out in the West Coast, and the devotees just would walk through the general stores or walk through and just slip a few under the pockets and under the kurtas and just walk out, and or plucking flowers and from others' gardens, and they're like, this is for Krishna, so we can do it. Hey. Wait a minute. So Prabhupada said, relax guys. So this is we have to be a little careful, even as grihasthas, and even as brahmacharis and renounced order. Sometimes in the fire, there's a fire in his belly, right? To just spring up as the best devotee, like I want to go to Goloka in this life. Yeah, we'll do that. Just take it step by step. And what happens is we take too much on, we take too many projects. I know devotees personally who have taken so many projects in their life, not devotional projects, just business projects. I'm retired now. So I get to I have a lot of time to speak. You might think, well, it hasn't changed much. Retirement didn't matter. So I get to talk a lot with even devotees, and they take up so much, even in their social life, in their careers, they're taking so much, and it's like, oh, this is because I want to offer it to Krishna, or this is because I want to do it for our project, or this is what. You don't take even devotees' project at the cost of your own welfare. First, physician, heal thyself. Even devotee projects or material or social our projects, you don't take so much that it's costing your own consciousness. That's what Prabhupada is trying to say to us in the translation. That's what Kapila is saying. Regardless of this project, that project, even devotees project. Okay, I'm in Varnashma project, I'm in books project, I'm temple cooking project, I'm in this project. I don't have time. What happens to the kids? I've seen, I'm serious. I get to walk so much on the streets. I don't want to name names, and this is no disrespect, okay? Please don't. I'm just talking for the sake of convention. I get to see a lot of devotee children on the streets, away from their parents, walking on the street. And the parents are in the temple as we speak, just working their asanas off. Okay, just working their chairs off. And I see at the same time, simultaneously, I'm walking on the streets and the same devotee children are, and they see me, I'm with the books and they go, nice books. And they walk past. I'm serious. Just walk past me. Why? Because sometimes we take so many projects, we completely neglected our personal lives, our children. Sometimes it costs so much. So we have to be very careful, regardless of our social career projects or devotee projects. You never do that at the cost of your consciousness, because save yourself first. Save yourself first. And then you save others. You understand? You follow what I'm trying to say? Save yourself first. Become an emblem of love. The whole point is becoming a representative of Prabhupada's love. That's the point. So, whatever services you're taking, manage it very nicely, be very careful, structure your life, systematize your lives. The point is to chant Hare Krishna with love in the morning. If that's costing, relax. You cannot do something that's costing your chanting. Okay? You don't do anything you don't do more that's costing your chanting. Please understand. The day you lost your taste, you chant, the name's coming out, you don't feel the taste, you really have to stop, revive, survive. You understand what I'm trying to say? You follow? Say yes. Yes or yes? Yes. So, 3 words in this verse of Srila Prabhupada, Transcendental Purports Ki Jai. 3 words in this verse are very significant. One is Kevalena, means only by black methods. We just spoke about that. Yeah? Adharmena means unrighteous or irreligious or unvirtuous or immoral, or we have a whole book of Aristotle on ethics. So unethical, so that all falls into that. And Kutumba Bharanena means family maintenance. So even as family, I'm a grihastha. I'm married, I have 2 children, one of them is sitting right there. So we have to be very careful. Don't become a father. Don't become a guru nasasya, janini nasasya, pitara nasasya, bandhu nasasya. Apichet yosa sampeta mrityam. Don't become a father, don't become a friend, don't become a husband, don't become a relative. If you can't help your community, the people around you, samupeta mrityam. Transcend this bodily identity. If you can't do that, don't become one. You understand? So, family maintenance, we can't get carried away in the name of family maintenance. Yeah? We already went through that. One's family is certainly the duty of a householder, but one should be eager to learn his livelihood by the prescribed method, as stated in the scripture. In Bhagavad Gita, it is described that the Lord has divided the social system into 4 classifications of caste and varna. Bingo. So this is Varnashrama system, the introduction of Varnashrama system. Now I can go on Varnashrama system on, I don't know, 40 episodes. I'll try to see how I can pack it up into this, what have I got, 35 minutes. I'm going to present to you two paradoxes. Do you understand what paradox means? Paradox is an apparent contradiction. Contradiction is actually a technical contradiction, but paradox is an apparent contradiction, which means it can be explained. Then it doesn't remain a contradiction anymore. You understand? So I'm going to present you two paradoxes. Yeah? Usually I only present you one, but today is a Sunday special. So, and I'm not going to charge you. See that? So Hare Krishna is merciful. It's two for the price of one. So two paradoxes. One I'm going to present you. Apparently Varnashrama looks like a social system. Within, like, Varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Grihastha, Sannyasa, what else? I'm rusty. Vanaprastha, I'm rusty, Sannyasi. Okay. The medications are getting into my head. So, this is the first paradox. Why does Prabhupada keep 250 times? I've searched the whole entire Prabhupada's writings. I've gone through Prabhupada's entire writings. I don't know how many times. At least 250 times. Prabhupada says, Varnashrama is a scientific system. Now why would he say that? It typically looking at it from a Western ethical perspective, it's a social structure. It's a hierarchical structure. But Prabhupada keeps saying more than 250 times, you can count on me. He keeps saying that Varnashrama is a scientific system. It's a scientifically modeled system. Why does he do that? That's the first paradox. Yeah? And I'm presenting you the second paradox. Just understanding that you are an Atma is not sufficient. Now Manasi Mata is looking at me. Wait. Slow down, amigo. Let's keep this strictly professional. Slow down, amigos, because you've been hammering us for the past God knows how long that we are Atmas, conscious entities, Atma paradigm. All of a sudden you say, just understanding an Atma is not sufficient. So clearly the pain medication is getting into your head. So I have presented two paradoxes. Yeah? One I presented, what is the first one? Yes. Although it apparently appears as social structure, what is the second paradox? Very good. I don't have any more Mahaprasad. I owe you one. So, just understanding Atma is not sufficient. So, do you want me to go through the two paradoxes? Okay. The reason Prabhupada says, because hermeneutics, again, going back to hermeneutics, is science of interpretation. The reason Prabhupada says Varnashrama is a scientific system is because it is providing you a systematic, structured growth for your consciousness. You understand? I spoke about the hard problem of consciousness. Anybody remember seeing it? Okay, I won't do it again now because we don't have much time. You'll just have to refer to my previous classes. I elaborated on the hard problem of consciousness. This is the most ringing thing in every university in the world. Okay, I can go through books, I can quote you professors, I can keep going on forever. The point is, hard problem of consciousness is primary. When you live a life where consciousness is primary, then you have an obligation, bandhur atmatmana asya, yen atmana jita. So, you are the only well-wisher of your Atma, and you can only deliver your consciousness as a conscious entity. And you can only do that when you have a systematic, hierarchical, social foundation of your identity from a bodily platform. And then you have something. You have an identity, you deal with your identity and you guide your consciousness through this systematic hierarchy. Because it is dealing with your consciousness, it is what does science say? It has to be observable, it has to be prescribable, and it has to have critical analysis of the results. That's science. Yeah? You can check the dictionaries. No blowing smoke in the temple rooms today. Straight from dictionaries. Yeah? So when you are dealing with your identity, and when you're dealing with your consciousness, and you're guiding your consciousness to the higher levels, what does this sound like? Does it just sound like a social system anymore? That's why Prabhupada keeps saying it is a science. Because you're guiding your consciousness. Consciousness is primary. Matter is secondary. Your body sees because you see. You don't see because your body sees. You understand, Edward? What I'm trying to say? Your body sees because you see. You don't see because your body sees. The day you get that, you make the switch. So that is the reason Varnashrama is a scientific process. And otherwise Prabhupada wouldn't have stressed it 250 times. Usually a Vaishnava stressed 3 times, you got to take it extremely seriously. But we have a Vaishnava here who is literally begging us to take this seriously. And he says more than 250 times, it's a science because consciousness is primary, where you're guiding your consciousness with the tools of Varnashrama. You understand? So you have to understand your identity in this graph. You in the basic mathematics, what do you have? This y-axis and then the x-axis, just basic mathematics. So take this x-axis as the ashrama, and take the y-axis as the varna. So it goes, right? You have the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, and you have here the Sannyasa, Vanaprastha, Grihastha and the Brahmachari. So in this axis, you got to spot yourself. In this graph, you got to locate yourself. It's extremely important to do that. Because when you don't locate yourself and you understand your psychophysical nature, you're going to put yourself in the wrong service. You're going to put yourself in the wrong ashram. There's 2 extremes you can jump into. One extreme is you get attracted to an ashram and you pick up an ashram just because it's attractive and popular. That's one extreme, most dangerous thing to do. Cut it out. The most dangerous thing to do is you take up an ashrama because it just looks attractive and popular. That's one extreme. You want me to tell you the second extreme? No extra cost. Second extreme is you hate an ashrama because you find bad examples. So calm down, amigos. So I remember, I bought these books to show you. My Gurudev recommended very strongly to read this book. It's called Personality Plus. He also asked me to read this book. Anyway, he sends me this, he calls me, sometimes we're traveling and we're talking and he recommends these books to read. And then he calls me the next day and he goes, Radhika Prasad, yes Gurudev, have you read the books? Gurudev, I just ordered it today. Ah, okay, thank you very much. Poop. Hello, Gurudev. Poop. Gone, he's gone. So, this is a Personality Plus by Florence Little. She's an extremely fanatic Christian, but she divides and gives us a graph. There is a little scorecard in the beginning of the book. And what she does is, I've already done the scorecard, so I can't share this book for you, but you can buy it on the Amazon. It only costs like $7. This costed me $7. This was a little expensive, but that's okay. So, what she does is, she helps you sketch yourself in this Varna game. From her point of view, Brahmanas are, she divides into 4. And first she makes you, by that scorecard, she gives you how to mark yourself on that graph of the Varnashrama. Her terms are, the Brahmanas, she calls them perfect melancholies. The Vaishyas, the Kshatriyas, she calls them powerful cholerics. And the Vaishyas, she calls them, what's that, sanguines? Popular sanguines. Okay. Thanks for helping me out. So the third one, she read the book with me. So the third one is popular sanguines, and the finally is peaceful phlegmatic Shudras. You want me to repeat this? Or you got it? So the Brahmanas, she names her term of describing Brahmanas as perfect melancholies, perfectionists. The second, the Kshatriyas, her terms are powerful cholerics. The third is the Vaishyas, she calls them popular sanguines. And finally, the Shudras, she calls peaceful phlegmatics. They just do the job. Powerful cholerics are the project builders, nation builders, military men, politics. They gotta build the systems for people to follow. They are the powerful cholerics. Perfect melancholies, they're just in their room, just reading books, My daughter came to me and said, Dad, I think you're a perfect melancholy. I said, I got that. And popular sanguines, they're the commerce, the business, center of attractions, talk it out, do the projects, attract people, we need them. It's very important to have them. And the peaceful phlegmatics, Shudras, they're fine, just give us orders, we'll do the job. Prabhuji, do you have any service? No, that's fine, you give me a service, I'm fine to do, no problem with that. So these are peaceful phlegmatics. It's a very good book to locate yourself. This was recommended to me by Devamrit Swami Maharaj. He also recommended this because the reason he recommended me this is because we had a little discussion and he understands my academic nature and he wanted me to he wanted to push me up a little bit. Anyway, he has this kind of skill to push you to maturity. Anyway, so what was he doing? Graph, locate yourself. So she gives this. So what I was trying to say, I was trying to solve the second paradox, where two extremes are. One, you get attracted and you take up an ashram just because it looks attractive and popular. Be careful. Second, you hate an ashram or you dislike an ashram. Hate is a little too strong, but you dislike an ashram. Sorry, I don't like to use strong words like that. My apologies. You dislike an ashram because you see bad examples. Be very careful. That's the point of Varnashram Dharma. So to spot yourself in this graph, to locate yourself in a perfect shelter, and choose a right career. Simple as that. Choose a right career. If you feel like teaching, you're a Brahmana. If you feel like arranging, improvising, constructing, building, or clearly you're a Kshatriya. We need a lot of Vaishyas in this movement, definitely. Make money, build projects, center of attractions, do the projects, talk a little, be a little funny. We need them too, Vaishnavas. We need Shudras because that's the foundation. How are you going to build a kingdom without Shudras? How are you going to build these big temples? Big temples, big temples. How are you going to build that without Shudras? So we need Shudras also. So just locate yourself perfectly. Don't choose something because it just feels attractive, or don't dislike something because you see bad examples. There are plenty of good examples of Grahasthas in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ramananda Raya, Shivananda saying, Pundarika Vidyanidhi. Perfect examples. There's more, but I'm just giving you three quickly. And you have very beautiful, perfect sannyasis. Yeah, but first and foremost is, ours truly, yeah? Mahaprabhu. Yeah, ours truly. So, those are kind of the two paradoxes I was trying to resolve today, and how the sannyasa is a scientific process. Sorry, varnashrama is a scientific process. Let me quickly do something quickly. So just a simple graph here, right? So you have varnas here, you have ashrama here, and you can put that after you hopefully you'll get this, and then once you get a scorecard, you can actually locate yourself. Either you're here or you're here and you're here and you're here or here, something like that, and then you locate yourself and then use what you have. See, you cannot work with something that you don't have. You have to you can only work with something you have. So work with something you have. The skills that you have, you can only start from where you are. I cannot start from where you are, or you cannot start from where I am. So locate yourself, do a graph, locate yourself and use what your utilities are, use what your skills are, use what your psychophysical natures are, and then you use that to progress in bhakti. Because there is no such state as a stagnant, I'm going to just, if you're not going towards Krishna, what are you doing? You're going away from Krishna. There's no resting place and saying, okay, I'm going to take a halt for a couple of years. Doesn't work like that. If you're not going towards Krishna, you're going away from Krishna. So you have to use your propensities, yeah? So I'm going to go and tell you a little story. I think too much philosophy, boring stuff. Okay. I was a teenager. I don't know, 13, I don't know. Yeah, 13 years old. Yeah, 13 years old. And I had to drive my mother somewhere, and it was a long drive. And when I came back, my mother said, just have a little nap. I don't like sleeping in the days. Not my thing. But my mother said, no, just go and have a little nap. So I said, this was in India. I come from South India. It's Hyderabad. And I was having a little nap. And in the nap, I'm listening to someone has come in the front room and having a chat with my mother. And he's speaking this Bhagavatam. And you're in the sleep but you're half awake kind of thing. And I'm hearing this Bhagavatam. And I'm just dying inside saying, I have to get up, I have to listen to this man. I just sprung from my bed and I just rushed into this living room. And I asked this man, where are you speaking from? And he looked at me and he said, you like it? I said, I absolutely love this stuff. Where is this from? And he said, and he had these tears in his eyes. And he said, this is Bhagavad Purana. And I said, but it's okay, but why are you crying? No, don't worry about it. It's just dramas, don't worry about that. This is Bhagavad Purana. And I said, oh my God, can you tell me a little bit about it? Now the punchline of the story. You want to know the punchline of the story? Punchline of the story? He was a Shudra. He was a Shudra. He used to make saris. They do saris in India, like with the silk saris. There's a big machine, tak 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 tak. It's rolling. Davi knows. Tak tak. So you pedal it, and then you make saris. He's a Shudra. As soon as I asked, what a beautiful thing that you're speaking, and he has his tears in his eyes. I said, oh my God, can you tell me a little bit more? And we became such a good friends. He became like my Siksha Guru. And I had this fervor when I came to Krishna consciousness. This was when Atmaram Prabhu was here. And he was fired up. When he was speaking, this was like around 2000, like millennium time. I used to get like that, like really, really fired up. I want to be that, brahmachari, fired up, saffron. And I lived a kind of, I wasn't in the temple, but I used to do the brahmachari life in my own apartments, like real. And one day he spoke to me, where we used to exchange letters, and he said, don't get attracted to an ashrama because it looks popular. And we had a lot of conversations, and finally I went into Grihastha ashram after nearly 7 years of brahmachari. And I went into Grihastha ashram, and the whole world, my social world, was shocked. You got married? You? Why did you get married? Why? Waste of time for you. Anyway, I hope I'm doing well. we have a witness. I hope I'm doing well. So that's an example. A Shudra, apparently born in a Shudra family, he had tears flowing like Ganga from his eyes when he was speaking Bhagavatam. Isn't this fantastic? And I meet a Brahmana, and he says, I know everything about Krishna. And I said, why? Because I am a Brahmana. So get me a glass of water. Yeah, it doesn't work. So this is a very good book, because she shows how a peaceful, a perfect melancholy could have a little characteristics of Shudras. Or a Shudras could have a little characteristics of powerful cholerics. Like Dronacharya. He's a Brahmana, but he's a powerful choleric. Wants to fight, wants to be in the battlefield. You understand? So that's like that. And there are so many stories of Kshatriyas who just want to chant Hare Krishna. Sudipta, Pratipa. Pratipa was the original, he was the father of Shantanu Mahabharata. Anybody read Mahabharata? It's a beautiful scripture. Beautiful scripture. So Pratipa, Uparichara Vasu, so these are original even ancestors of Shantanu Maharaj. What were they doing? Kshatriyas, what are they doing? Sitting on the Ganges and Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So this is another extreme. You understand? So it is not how you were born, now you have to find, it is now your job to find your identity and deal with your identity. You understand what I'm saying? And deal with your identity. So I'm going to give you, 10 minutes already. So much to say, so little time. Okay, we'll do as best as I can. Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna had a crisis of his dharma. And he said, Bhoktum bhaksham api haloke, Guru nahatva hi manobha, Bhoktum bhaksham api haloke, Atvarta kamam suguru nyeva, Bunjya bhogan, Rudhira pradikta. I'd rather go and beg and live as a sannyasi rather than do this stuff. Yeah? So he had a crisis. So one of the most important verses to understand in Bhagavad Gita, to find yourself a foundation, is 3.10.11 to 3.16. Krishna explains, Ishtan Bhogani Hod. Sorry, I'm going to go a little Bhagavad Gita on you now. But Sunday morning, it's okay. Ishtan Bhogani Ho Deva, Dasyante Igna Bhavita, Tayadattana Pradayabo, Yobhunte, Sthena Evacha. You understand? Yeah? So you are a thief when you take, but you don't give. Yeah? So the next he says, Devan bhavayatanina, te devan bhavayantuva, parasparam bhavayanta, shreyan param avapsisi. Once you receive, you give. Yeah? You give, Deva, you're receiving from Deva. You're receiving sunlight, you're receiving rain. It's not coals giving us the commodities. Yeah, sometimes where you getting your milk from coals? No. Where you getting for your meat from Woolworths? No. Wrong answer. Sunlight, rain, rivers, oxygen, gases, liquids, carbon. You understand? It's organic. So you don't get it from coals because coals are getting from our devas. So devan bhaveta anena te deva bhavantva parasparam bhavanta. When you have this paraspara relationship with your gods, with these divine beings, then shreya parama vapsasi. Then you become a well-wisher automatically. Then what does he say? Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyadana sambhava. Yagnad bhavati parjanya yagna karma samubhava. Because the rains are coming from upstairs. So you can only give this, but you can only give them in return by what? By performing your prescribed dharma. Yeah? Then what does he say? I'm getting a little rusty, help me out here. Evam pravartitam chakram. Yes. Nanvartayati hai aghayurindriyarama mogham partha sajivati. He's saying this a little sad. You can see Krishna's moods. If you read Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, you can start getting a sense of Krishna's mood when he's happy, elated, when he's disappointed, when he's got, oh my God, kind of thing. Mogham partha sajivati. Mogham partha sajivati. What he's saying is, evam pravartitam chakram, I have built this cycle of receiving and offering. I built a cycle, chakram is cycle, simple stuff, yeah, simple stuff, simple English. Evam pravartitam chakram, I have established cycle. Nanu vartati haya. Whoever, ya is whoever, nanu vartati, who doesn't follow this. Aghayur indriyarama, indriyarama, sense gratification. Sense gratification. You want some sense gratification? I want some sex. You want a little sense gratification. Indriyarama, how long can we be the servants of this sense gratification, these pleasures, this sex, this eating, these drugs? Mogham partha sajivati. Just this is a waste of time, Arjuna. Mogham partha, this is a waste of time, Arjuna. Please listen to me. Please understand. Mogham partha sajivati, wasting your lives. Aghayur indriyarama, sense gratification is overrated. Sense gratification is, let's say this, sense gratification is, thank you, yes or yes? It's overrated. I can prove to you academically, sense gratification is overrated. Okay? And envy is underrated. Yeah? Enviousness is underrated. Sense gratification is overrated. You understand? If you don't remember anything from this class, remember these two things. Mogham partha sajivati. So Krishna is saying that use your propensities, locate yourself in this graph of Varna Ashrama, work with what you have, and channelize your consciousness, guide your consciousness upstairs towards top. There's no such thing as static. If you're not going towards Krishna, you're coming away from Him. Do you get the point, Sukha? Yeah? You understand? Am I completely lost you and thrown in the deep end, or you still following? Okay. So, who's reading Bhagavatam carefully? Yes. You have to read Bhagavatam. I mean, it's good to read 10 times, but at least 4 times. It's good to read 10 times, but at least 4. Okay. Sunday discount. At least 2. Okay? Chaitanya Charitamrita, how many times you read? At least, if you want to really understand, Chaitanya Chandra Charita Karilo Vichara Karite Chitta Paide Chamatkar. Chaitanya Chandra Charita Karilo Vichara, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Vichara karite, chitta paive, chamatkar. What happens to your consciousness is a miracle. So you have to read Chaitanya Charitamrita also 10 times, but Sunday discount 2 times. Yeah, come on man, this is what a discount. So you have to really get this. Yeah, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So where was I? I'm just going everywhere today. I'm losing my track. We're still doing the second paradox, are we? Atma is infinite. Yeah, locate yourself. Yeah, thank you very much. So locate yourself in this and channelize your consciousness and grow. That's the reason of this human birth. Yeah? Yaksha Prashna, Yudhishthira was asked by Yaksha 125 questions. There's at least 40 questions which are related to this. And I'll give you final, okay? I won't bore you with too much life philosophy. I'll give you final. This is what I was saying. Come on. I was saying, if you're reading Bhagavatam carefully, there is a point in Bhagavatam where Bhagavatam completely shifts its paradigm. If you're reading Bhagavatam very carefully, there is a point where Bhagavatam completely, when you sit in this Boeing flight and you're flying to Calcutta or Hyderabad or Bangalore or anywhere, until you get to the border of New South Wales, they're only doing like 14,000 meters or 16,000 meters, like 14,000 feet or 16,000 feet, right? But once you reach you can start seeing the Darwin and the New Northern Territory. Where is the flight now? 33,000 feet. 11 kilometers up in the sky. You understand? So there is a point in Bhagavatam where you come and the pilot goes, raises it up and takes you up, 11 kilometers up in the sky, where the gravity is almost zero. So there is a verse in Bhagavatam, it completely switches you into a completely different mode, into a Sankirtan mode. Anybody remembers? Okay, I'm going to tell you, you're just going to have to put more coins in the meter. No, just joking. I'm a volunteer. Prahlad Maharaj, he's an absolutely distinguished scholar. What he says is, listen to this, until Prahlad Maharaj, it's all about self-development. Until Prahlad Maharaj, the whole 7 cantos of Bhagavad, it's all about self-development. It's all about self-structure. It's about self-growth. Prahlad Maharaj comes and just breaks everything, the boundaries, and he says, thank you very much. No. What does he say? Prayena deva munaya swavimukti kama. Prayena deva munaya swavimukti kama. Maunam charanti vijane na parartha nishtha. Naitan vihaya kripanan svamukshu eko. Nanyam tadasta sharanam brahmatam pashya. Read again Bhagavatam, read this verse carefully. This is where Bhagavatam completely changes its level, changes its dimension. What is Prahlad Maharaj saying? Prayena deva munaya swamipkamas. Mostly what I see transcendentalists, what 7.9.44 was it? Something like that. Search around there. 7.9.44 or 45, 46. I'm getting rusty. Prayena deva munaya svavimukti kama. What he's trying to say is almost all transcendentalists, spiritualists I see interested svavimukti kama. They're always interested for their own upliftment. Maunam charanti vijane na pararthanishta. They don't have any interest for the welfare of others. Bhuvi grinanti bhuridajana. They don't have interest of others. But me. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying to Narasimhadev, but me, he's saying, not interested, what does he say? Manyam Sharan Naitam Vihaya Kripanam. Very good, thank you very much. I'm getting a little rusty. Naitam Vihaya Kripanam Swavimukshu Eko. Is that right? Eko. Eko means in Sanskrit just myself, just personally myself, just uplifting myself. I want to go to it. I want to be in the front and I want to be right in the front. It doesn't work like that. You send everybody else to Krishna. You just sit somewhere in the kunj. Don't worry about it. So, but myself, I'm not worried about my own upliftment. What am I worried? Kripanan, these fools and rascals in the cities. I don't want to leave them. These fools and rascals in the cities. I don't want to leave them. No. Remember our discussions about Daivi Varnashama? So I'm referring to that. So I don't want to leave these fools and rascals in the cities. Why? Because I'm not thinking about my own upliftment. Why? Nanyam tvadasya sharanam brahmanatu brahmatanu pashya. I've seen everywhere, I've roamed everywhere, I've gone everywhere, I've read everything. He had read everything from his highest universities of his dad. But I cannot see anything except your shelter. So that's where Prahlad Maharaj is changing the dimension of Bhagavatam and pushing you into Sankirtan. Become the representatives of love of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's not about your own upliftment, it's about others. You send everybody to Krishna, don't worry about it. You remain at the back, somewhere in the kunj, nobody cares. Nobody knows your service, nobody cares, okay? Yeah, I'm just saying it, so I care, please understand. I'm just saying it for a convention speech. Nobody cares how many books you did. Nobody cares how much you worked. Nobody. There's a big awards going on for all the bhaktas. Like we did a big, say for example, just hypothetically. Everybody got awards. Nobody knows what you did. You didn't get an award. What are you going to do? Wet your pillows? Cry in the bed? No. It's okay. Because Krishna notices every single thought. Trust me, please understand. You understand? So one final, okay, we'll finish this here. Now, why this is please, and this is the last and most important, okay, I'll do this. I know you're all hungry. Ekadashi, come on, give me a break. Okay, Ekadashi. Last time I came after Ekadashi, today, give me a break. Settle down, fellas. Sit down. Last point. Why do people take these black methods that Prabhupada is referring to? Why do people take these black methods that Prabhupada is referring to? Please stay with me for a little bit longer. Yeah? Just stay with me. Why do people in general take these black methods on the body platform? Why do they do that? Huh? Practical, yes, very good. That's very practical. Very good, yes. Else, what else? Give me something. Help me out. Why are people taking these black methods and indulging in either you are grahastha, brahmachari, and it doesn't matter. Taking up more austerities is also a problem. Please understand. I had a devotee friend who was a travel agent, and he only did devotee travels. And one day he said, it was in a humorous mode, joking. They do so much austerities, they drink hot water, but they drink my cold blood. So they're so austere, they drink hot water, warm water, but they're drinking my cold blood, sucking my cold blood. It was a joke, okay? So where was it? The last point. Why do people do that? Huh? Lack of faith. Yeah, theological, I say, yeah, it's a theological. Yes, please. You're nearly there. You're nearly there. You're nearly there. Just there. The finish line is like about 2 breaths away from you. Help me out. You got me one more breath closer. You got me one more breath close. One more breath close. One more breath close. Woo! Now we're okay. Now I'm okay. Now we're okay. We're moving. We're making progress. Okay. No, I'm not. Because I'll tell you. You want me to give you the answer? Okay. Have you placed more coins in the meter? More coins in the meter. I'm just joking. Anybody knew? I'm a volunteer. It's not just a joke. Okay. Don't go and put on Facebook that ISKCON is charging for their Bhagavad Gita classes or something. Because your life will never be the same. Yeah? After you listen to this, your life will never be the same. The reason we do that is because we think inherently, we are programmed and conditioned to think we can only have bliss and fun and gratification in our bodies. We have this myth in our minds, in our hearts, in our conditionings, that without this material body, we may not have fun, we may not have ananda, we don't have bliss, we don't have relationships. But I am here to assure you, please understand, I am here to assure you, you have much more fun, you have much more ananda, you have much more relationships, you have much more potential when you're out of these bodies as Atmas. I'm here to tell you guys, please understand, please tell this to everybody that you meet. Even if it's out of context. No, joking. Please understand, you have more fun, you have more accomplished relationships, you have more satisfied gratification, you have more hybrid ananda. You got all that? You got, okay, you're going to have to listen to this again maybe. Okay, I'll do this, try to do this again. You have more hybrid ananda, you have more accomplished relationships, you have more escalated sense gratification, you have everything, you have completely functioning relationships, you have everything much more in a trillions more proportions out of this body as an Atma, and you are actually inhibiting your ananda, you're inhibiting your progress, indulging in sense gratification, because we have been taught to think in a certain way by medias, by bombarded commercials, by bombarded movies, Bollywoods, God knows, I can name how many. But I'm here to tell you guys, you have more ananda as an Atma. You have much more accomplished, much more satisfying gratification as an Atma. Please understand. So, yes or yes? Say yes. Yeah? So, please tell this anywhere you go, anybody you meet. Yare deko tare kaho Krishna upadesh. Can you finish the rest, please? Yes. Don't be a guru, don't be a friend, don't be a teacher, don't be a husband, don't be a wife, don't be a mother, don't be a father if you don't deliver everybody around you. Tell this to everybody. Doesn't matter. Out of context, doesn't matter. Become an Atma. Atma paradigm. I haven't read the remaining purport, but please read it on your own time. Having said that, I just want to please understand, I always say that, but I really mean this. I'm really, really thankful and grateful that you're all here. The day I take you for granted is the day I'm dead, spiritually speaking. I'll never take you for granted. I'll never take you for granted. This is the most auspicious association for me. Okay? I'll never take this for granted. So I'm very serious. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. And just don't go by my voice and all this physical expression. I'm extremely unhappy to be corrected. So if you found something like a little whack, or you thought he's just on pain medication, sometimes he's losing it, the plot or rusty or something, I'm very happy for you to correct me, and I'm happy to take any comments. You got any comments or questions? Just don't all speak at once. Today's Ekadashi, so don't tell me that you're hungry or anything. Yes, please. Just understanding you're not an Atma is not enough. Yes. You mean no. Oh, very, very happy to ask the question. So this is the Vedic tradition is divided into two. The question is, she's saying, when I'm talking that as an Atma you have more transcendental, is that what I'm trying to say when I said when I was solving the second paradox, that you're not just an Atma? I'm very happy that you asked the question, because I was supposed to speak then. Very acute observer. So, what was the answer? Okay. You never understand the Vedic culture, you never understand Vedas, you never understand Prabhupada hermeneutics, Prabhupada's purpose, you never understand. When you don't understand, the Vedic culture is divided into two parts. One is Vaidika, where it is scriptural, you're an Atma, you have a transcendental constitutional position. What is the Yoga Sutra? Swarupa Avasthita Samadhi Ishvara Pranidhana. Samadhi Siddhi Ishvara Pranidhana. So, one is this Vaidika, that you are an Atma, but there is a second part we are completely missing many times, even as devotees. Laukika and Vyavaharika, you have a social identity. If you have to take a driver test and you go to the RTA, or they call it service NSW, and they ask you your date of birth, and you say, I was never born and I have no death. No, wrong answer. Give them a date of birth, for God's sake. Get a license and get out of there. So you don't speak like that. So when an RTA officer comes and says, what is your date of birth? Like, who is your mother's name? I don't have a mother. Pitamastu lokasya characharasya. Tell me your father's name, for God's sake. My father is Krishna. No. Calm down. Calm down. So you have this Vaidika, where you are an Atma, but you have this social Vyavaharika. You have an identity in this. So in these communities, in the social structure. This is the beautiful balance of Vedic life. That is a beautiful balance of Varnashrama, where you know your Vaidika, but you still use your social structures, Vyavaharika and Laukika, to be able to progress in your channeling your consciousness. That's what the second paradox is. Understanding just Atma is not enough. You have to understand your social and Vyavaharika part, where you don't go to the hospital and they ask you for the blood group and you say Bhumirapo Ango Vayu Khammanu Budrevacha. Give me your blood group, for God's sake. You understand? So that mixture is what I'm trying to say when I'm saying just understanding Atma is not sufficient. It also helps you in your preaching. When you're in the societies, when you're in the streets, talk a language people will understand, for God's sake. Don't throw people with jargons, Agnata Sukriti, or you're a Karmi, or, don't throw jargons at people. Speak their language. Please, they're waiting.